Today we hope to show you some tips to prepare for your cruise, so like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if there are any more helpful cruise tips you'd like to know more about.
Hi there, this is Erica, and I am here with the Tourist Guide to Earth. And today we're going to talk about stuff that you should definitely take on your cruise with you, and some other things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, that we're going to make sure you have all the things that you could possibly need. Well, maybe not all of them. There are a lot of things. First of all, I want to talk about passport and passport cards. So if you are going someplace that leaves from the U.S., it comes back to the U.S., you might not necessarily need a passport to do it. You might be able to use your enhanced ID. But I would recommend having a passport just in case there's some sort of emergency. And if you have to fly home from a port of call, you're probably going to need it. Again, you most certainly don't always have to have this, but it is a good thing to have for emergencies. Plus, if you get your passport and you have a passport card, especially for children, I know when you get off at your port of call, they want you to take a picture ID with you. So you could take your driver's license with you, but if you have someone who doesn't have a driver's license or that type of ID, maybe they're younger, then you can take the passport card with you, leave all the passports locked in the safe so that they're nice and safe. You're not going to have to worry about being stuck in some other country somewhere. Just take it with you and you'll be set to go. You also want to print off your travel documents. These are boarding passes for a Carnival cruise that we took last year. They're not always required. Sometimes, though, technology fails you. In this case, it does clearly say you must print this off and you have to be actually carrying a paper copy of this with you. To speak of other things that you need to print, luggage tags. You do need to print your luggage tags with you. In this case, they have the instructions. You kind of fold them up and then just make sure that you have the card here, the top sticking out that says what deck you're going to. And I would never put these on until after I have gotten off my plane. If you have to fly to your port, you definitely want to wait until after your plane. So I carried this in my carry-on. Then once I grab my luggage at baggage claim, that's when I go ahead and put these on. Now the instructions say to go ahead and take these together. Grab a stapler, put these over your handle. Just slide it over your handle like so and staple it on. Works perfectly well. I see some people are worried that the staple isn't going to hold. I've used the staple plenty of times and I haven't had any issues. However, I've also used tape. I've just used like long clear packing tape and put it from end to end, which is a little bit more secure. I've used that. But something you might consider, just because it's nicer, it's reusable, environmentally friendly, is just to use one of these luggage hanging tags. So you can go ahead and put your hanging tag on here. It has this little knob that you can put in and off, and you can just slide your tags in and out, and then you can just reuse them over and over again. Recycle this. I mean, I guess technically this is a little more environmentally friendly because there is no plastic, but they look nice. They hold together really well, and you really don't have to worry about it getting lost. Again, though, I've had no problems with any of these methods that we've talked about. Obviously, you need your toiletries, you need your hairbrushes, anything that you're going to need to do your hair. You want some toothpaste, toothbrush. See, I have my little combo. I recently went to the dentist. Floss. I also like these things. I like to keep these in your purse. They have these little containers, but they're the little picks that you can go ahead and pick stuff out. They're very helpful if you get stuff stuck in your teeth, so I keep these with me. Also, any medications that you need, like giant bottles of antacids. If you don't know how you'll deal with being in the sea, you probably want some nausea relief. This is something, I've taken these with me before. I've never had a problem, but I did have them just in case. And I think I got these because last time I had a couple of new sailors with us, people who've never been on a ship before. I like to carry a small first aid kit. I don't know if you have ever tried to buy a Band-Aid in an airport. It is not fun, but it's just really simple. It just has some really small things. If you have any big problems, you can deal with this somewhere else. You can get things on the ship. You can get things at the airport. You can get it wherever you need to, but it's nice to have small things on hand for small issues. If you just need a Band-Aid, you don't want to have to go through a lot of trouble for it. So it is good to have this, maybe some headache medicine, some Tylenol or something. It's good to have those things with you. Now, I'm not going to go through all your clothes. I think that you know what it is that you wear, and you probably know what things you like to wear on vacation, but you're definitely going to need a swimsuit. You may want to consider a cover up. Obviously, you need clothes. I think some things that to consider, though, that you might not is depending on your cruise or on your ship. I've traveled mainly on Carnival cruise ships, but they have different types of parties on the ship. And if you don't know, you might not be prepared. There's usually an 80s party. So if you have 80s gear, you can wear your 80s gear, and it's kind of fun. Lots of people dress up. And you can check your ship and check your sailing to see what types of parties they have. But on Carnival Cruise Lines, I usually do 7-day cruises, and you're going to have 2 elegant nights. So you're going to have, you're going to want to dress up, or maybe you don't want to dress up and you just know to avoid the fancier places. Sometimes I'll only do one, we call them fancy nights, one elegant night, and we might, just go sit and watch a movie by the pool for the second night. But that is something that you want to be prepared for. There's usually an 80s party, as I mentioned. There's usually a whites party where you dress all in white, which is another really fun event. And it is fun to kind of see everyone like all in the white colors, and it's fun to go see everyone all in the 80s gear. So if you want to participate in that, just check your ship, check your information, see what types of parties they have. There might be something specific that you want to pack for. Another thing you might not consider, if most of these cruises are going to go to beaches and beach type places. So you might want to make sure that when you're, that you have shoes that are comfortable to walk in. But if you're on the beach, you might want to make sure you have water shoes. Sometimes the beaches can be kind of rocky. Often the sand is very hot. So you want to make sure that you are prepared, even if it's just flip-flops that you can wear all the way over. Just make sure that you're ready for hot sand and, if necessary, rocky beaches. So make sure that you prepare for those things. All right. Sunscreen. You want to make sure that you have sunscreen. I have some of that here. The thing about sunscreen, actually, we'll talk about sunscreen and insect repellent. I do happen to have a bottle of insect repellent. If you're going to hike anywhere, you probably want to have some insect repellent on you. This is one of the things that, it's not my favorite. I do not like to put anything liquid or anything that could potentially have any type of impact in your baggage. So like if this thing popped open in your bag, you could have a giant mess. So I do not like to have these types of products in my baggage, but they are necessary if you are someplace where you have access to buy it before you get on the ship. That's great if you can do it between your flight, or if you're not getting on a flight, then perhaps this isn't that big a deal. Just keep it in a bag that isn't packed with all of your other things. But you will see as I go through these things that I try not to pack things that are liquid if possible. So let's go ahead and move those out. Shampoo and conditioner. That's exactly kind of where I was going to. I take bar shampoo and conditioner. I don't know. A lot of people don't use these yet. I think they're getting more popular. I personally make my own, but you can get these all over the place. They are available. So this is shampoo, this is conditioner, and you just rub it in your hair, use it like you would anything else. And as long as it's dry, it packs up nicely, and you do not have to worry about it exploding all over your stuff. These are large ones. You can get them in like these little smaller, like this is a little travel size that comes in a little tin. Shampoo, here's a conditioner, comes in the same kind of tin. I don't know where the other tin is, but it comes in a tin. So they're very, very convenient. Also, if you happen to have any that you like, again, this is another item. I like lotion. This is a lotion bar. So if you want to take some lotion with you and you don't want to have to worry about those issues that can come with traveling, like if you have liquids, you have to check them on checked luggage. But the bars are, sorry, that smells really good. I keep sniffing it. But the bars, lotion bars, shampoo and conditioner bars. So if there's anything that there's a dry version of, I usually go with the dry version just because I don't like the idea of it exploding in my luggage. All right. Another thing that you probably want to consider, you might have not thought of, is something to hold your beach towels to the beach chairs. A lot of people use clips, which are fine. They just tend to take up more space in luggage, and they're more easy to break. This is a rubber band, and it's actually really cute. It says towel grabber. I think these just came off of Amazon. You put the towel on the chair, you just go ahead and slide this over the top, and it will keep your towel from blowing away, which is very important, especially if you don't want to pay for them, because the ship pays attention. So you don't need to take your own towels. The ship has towels. You just want to have to make sure that you return them when you're finished using them. Another thing, actually I have a whole bunch of these. They come in packages, so the whole group can have their own different colors of towel items. Now, something else that you might not think of, I didn't think of it, and actually I got this on a vacation. You can see that's a Dominican Republic one. You can get stuck places where it can be very hot and not pleasant. So you take one of these guys with you, get a little air, especially good on a plane. If you're stuck waiting around somewhere, I would keep this in my carry-on somewhere I have access to it, and then possibly take it off on you when you go to shore excursions. So those are very good to have. All right, the next thing we're going to take a look at is these guys. These are little clothespins. When you are on a ship in your bathroom, there is a line that goes across your shower where you can hang your wet swimsuits. So when if you toss them over there, sometimes they can kind of bag in the middle. If you use these clips and clip them on, they will hold much more nicely. So if you put these on there, it will be much nicer for you to have these little clips to hold things. All right. Depending on where you go, you may... So my husband and I did 1 year, we kind of saved up and we took a trip to Europe. We sailed out of Barcelona and we spent the night there, and pretty much our cruise director told us everywhere we go, they kind of explained how people were going to try to rob us. So these are little wallets that kind of go underneath your clothes so that you're less likely to be robbed by people. Sunglasses, make sure that you remember eye protection. You want to make sure that you keep your eyes safe. Make sure you have your sunglasses. I would also recommend that you wear some sort of a hat. Now, there are some very cute sun hats you can wear, and actually these are available on the ship. They're harder to pack. You can buy these. Actually, I think this came off of a Carnival ship. So it's kind of cute. I like this hat. It's nice. But if you want something that's easier to pack or easier to travel in, there are other types of hats. And actually on our last trip, oh yeah, that makes me look like I'm going to go out gardening, which is fine. I actually do wear that for gardening. But this one, I saw someone the last time we went to Amber Cove had one of these hats. It was someone who worked there covering the back. I don't know if you've ever gotten burnt back here, but it sucks a lot. So this is, it's a lot of hat, but if you really are worried about being protected, this is a really, if you already have a burn and really want to make sure you don't get burned anymore, this is a very good type of hat to take with you. All right. If you are on the beach, you're probably going to want something to protect your phone. You can put your phone in here. Anything that's watertight that you can use to protect your phone, this will keep it so that you can take this with you. We've even snorkeled with these things before, so they're pretty strong, powerful, I guess you'd say. They're very useful, so something to put your phone in for if you're in the water. Lanyards. Now, depending on who you are, I know they're not the coolest looking things, but they are really, really useful. So, and I have all these different types of lanyards, so I'm just going to show you a couple of them. So, this is an example of, I even have some cards left on these guys, just to kind of show you what it's like. When you are on a ship, they're going to give you a sail and sign card, and that's going to be your room key. That's going to be how you pay for things. This type of a lanyard, you just wear it and you always have your card. So whatever it is you need access to, you can get to it. You don't have to find it. And sometimes, if you're wearing a swimsuit or some of those vacation clothes, you're just not going to have pockets, and it's not going to be readily available. So this is a good thing to have. This is an example too. If you're at the bar, you want to get a drink, you can just unclip this one, put it back on, and it also works if you use the spa. This one actually shows Circle C, so it shows that my kid was enrolled in Circle C. So this was his. But if you use the spa, a lot of the ships now have thermal suites. And when you go to the thermal suite, you'll have to give them your card, and they'll give you a key pass, and then you have to trade it when you're finished. So you can see this one has like the little Cloud9 spa thing on it. This is another way you can pass that card back and forth by having a little pocket here that you can put it in and out of. It's a little bit clunkier, but this is another example. or you can take this whole thing off. This is, again, this was another one that came from Carnival Cruise Lines. This is one though that this is just, you don't have to get a Carnival one. This works perfectly fine. You just unclip it. And this one is just one of the Europe cruises that we did. We went to Dublin, so this came from Ireland. And that, again, was not a Carnival cruise. We've only sailed on Carnival. So yeah, just example, because there have been a lot of us, right? There have been several of us. We have a bunch of different lanyards. Oh, and these, when you do buy these, I didn't mention this, they come in packs, so you usually have a bunch of them, so you can take whatever you need as far as your luggage. We usually have at least 3 people on a trip with us. All right. Paperwork, we've already discussed making sure that you have your paperwork with you. The next thing I want to talk about is some place to put your cords. I don't have any cords or cables in here, but when you are charging things, you definitely want to make sure that you have all of your charging cords in a place that you can find them. I have a bag this came with, which I'm going to talk about because it's a really nice bag for flying with. But this is something that I use to put cables in. Whatever it is, there's bags specifically for cables that work really well, just as long as you have a place to put them. Another thing that you will want to have on your trip is an extra battery. You can charge your charging cables onto this. Just make sure that obviously you have this charged. But if you carry this around and your phone is dying or whatever is dying, it's good to have this just in case of emergency, because it is really bad when your phone dies and you're out somewhere and especially if you're using it to take your pictures, which pretty much everyone does now, and you can't charge it. You don't have anything. There's nothing you can do about it. So try to make sure you carry something that you can charge items with. The next item I have is a bag, just any sort of extra bag. So if you're out, you probably don't want to carry around a bunch of stuff that you don't need. This has a little clip on it. This is a very old one though. There are plenty of different things like this. It's an old Turbos from a store. So it has a little clip on it, and you can expand it to be a full bag. And again, you can find plenty of things like this. I don't think these are out there anymore, but they're very similar items. So if you do decide that you want to go shopping, you're not stuck with whatever bags they give you. A lot of times they're not very handy to carry around. This one goes over your shoulder, and then you can just put all your stuff inside, and it's nice and convenient to carry your things with you. The next thing I'm going to share with you is a laundry bag. Now, depending on how long you're gone for, and what you're doing, you do want a place to put those dirties. You kind of don't want to mix them in with your clean clothes. And if you take a long vacation, you might need to do laundry. So some of the ships do have laundrettes, and you're probably going to want to go and do some laundry. It's a good idea to have a place in here. And even if you don't, sometimes you put your dirties in the dirty bag, and then maybe at one point you like pack up the dirties just so that there's not so much to do on the last day of that trip. This is specific for anyone who has to get there via air travel. So air travel, of course, can add an extra layer of complexity. So this is a bag weighing, it's a bag scale. So you just take this and put it on the handle of your bag, lift it up, and it'll tell you how much your bag weighs so that you don't end up overweight when you're trying to check your bag, and then they want to charge you a bunch of extra money. So a scale is a good idea to have. The cruise lines also have bag weights. I haven't ever had anyone or heard of anyone having an issue with their bag weights. I think it's a little bit higher at the cruise or at the ship, and they don't pay quite so much attention. I think it's just to make it reasonable for the people who move the bags around to do so, rather than to keep the plane in the air. So they seem to be less strict about it. They do have weight limits, but I wouldn't necessarily worry about this if I wasn't flying. This is just one style. I do think that it is very useful to have some stuff. If you want to use a fanny pack, I think I used this in the water. Because we were snorkeling and I wanted to have some things with me. So, but really anytime that you have a lack of pockets or something and you want to make sure you have some emergency stuff with you. I know it's a little weird. They're not super cool anymore, but fanny packs can be very useful. All right, water bottles. Now this, no matter where you're coming from, you need some sort of a water bottle. There are pluses and minuses to them. This one is a nice bottle. They're very easy to carry. You can even clip them onto things, which is why I like having these loops at the top. Something like this is too big for like a car. So if you're home and want to put this in your car drink holder, it is not very good. But if you take a water bottle like this and you fill it with ice, you're going to end up having a lot of sweating, and the ice will melt quickly. Something like this, it will not melt very quickly. You'll be able to keep that nice cold water for a lot longer. If you put water in these on a plane, I don't know if it's pressure, whatever, the water will come up, for not necessarily a ton, but if you're on a plane, I would want to make sure that you don't have more than half a bottle of water in anything like this. I know I like to have something to drink on the plane rather than wait for the flight attendant to get to me, but on the beaches, you're going to want these. You're probably going to want something that's going to keep it cold because you'll probably be out there for several hours in the hot, hot sun. So it might be a good idea. Actually, this one is a Del Sol one, so it changes color in the sun. Not a lot of color. It goes from light pink to dark pink. There are some of them though, that actually do change different colors. And it is kind of funny to have your hand and then you move your hand and your handprints on there. So that's kind of cool. But you definitely want to have water bottles, especially on the ship. If you want water to drink, either you're buying the bottles of water, keeping them in your fridge, or you're going to the Lido deck and you're filling water, and you're probably going to want to have a water bottle to fill up so that you're not running back and forth or have to go out for water all the time or have to buy bottles of water all the time. Oh, another item you're probably going to want to have if you're going to a beach is a nice big beach bag. At least, again, we always have at least 3 people, sometimes more, on our trips. This bag is really nice and large. You can put our beach towels in here. We can put our little towel clippy things in here. We can keep our sunglasses or hats. We can have some of our electronics and those extra batteries in here. It has plenty of space. It has all of these extra pockets. I can even clip my water bottle to the edge, so this way I can clip that on here. And when I have this full, it goes all the way across my shoulder, so I'm hands-free, so I still can walk around and I don't have to worry about necessarily holding all of this stuff. Or better yet, it's very easy to just put it on my husband and let him carry it around. So it's very useful, very helpful. And this mesh, it kind of helps with letting some of the sand fall out. It's not all you're definitely gonna get some sand, but it helps make sure all the sand doesn't stay inside. It helps to make sure that it's not too wet inside. So I really love that particular beach bag. So another thing that people will often tell you to bring is wrinkle release, Downy wrinkle releaser. And this is a very large bottle. I don't like carrying things that are liquid. I especially don't like taking part of my weight limit for the airplane for stuff like this. My preference is, and I think it works almost as good, is just a empty spray bottle that you can fill with water and you can spray your clothes with water. If you're concerned, there are also most ships have some sort of laundrette that will have an iron that you can iron there. You cannot take an iron in your room though. That is not allowed. No irons in your room, but you can take this empty spray bottle, put some water in it, spray your clothes down the day before, leave them hanging in the bathroom the next day. They should be fine. And it's really almost as good as using this wrinkle releaser. And if you're really feeling swanky and fancy, you can have your stateroom attendant press it, but that is very, very expensive. And you probably don't want to do that because unless you got that kind of fat cash, then maybe it works for you. But I would say just take an empty bottle, fill it with water, and spray. The other item that I haven't talked about yet, I do not have one here with me, but they are extension cords without a surge protector. If it has a surge protector, it will be taken from you. You can't have a surge protector on a ship. But you probably are going to want an extension cord, especially some of the older ships. There aren't a lot of places to plug your stuff in, and you just need to be able to use stuff. You need your space. So I always take an extension cord that does not have a surge protector with me. Okay, this next item is duct tape. I'm not saying you necessarily need this on the trip, but this is a funky color duct tape. And what we do with this is we put it on our luggage so that when we go to pick up our baggage at baggage claim, it is very easy to identify. A lot of bags look exactly like the one next to it. So this makes it very clear it's my bag, and I'm sure it's my bag because it also has my little mark on it, especially when you know where you put it, you know what the style is. It makes it very unique. So whether it's helpful at the airport baggage claim, but then also if you have the porters take your bag out and you have to claim your baggage back at when you come home, it also helps. Anytime that you need to spot your bags, this is very useful to have on it. All right, these actually came from the ship. These are little magnets that you put on the wall. And I know I was being silly with this. You know, I had the center door, and these were all the people who went with us. I kind of drew pictures of them, but you can leave notes to each other. So you can leave notes. We had 2 cabins across the hall from each other. You can leave notes for your people. You can let them know where you are, when you'll be back. This is one way to do it. Again, we bought these on the ship. We keep them. The dry erase marker that came with us did not work. So I also we ended up buying, we were in Puerto Rico that day. So I bought a pack of, there's a CVS there. I bought a pack of dry erase markers. But you probably want your own dry erase marker. And again, it doesn't have to be the Carnival one. You can take this with you, dry erase board, magnetic stuff. There's all kinds of magnetic walls. It's very easy to find a place to put these, and you can leave notes for each other. If you do not want that, you can always just take a pen and a good old-fashioned sticky note. This is also useful, too, to put for your stateroom steward. If you have any messages for them, you'll probably see them around in the halls a lot. You'll have a phone number where you can call them. But sometimes, you just think of something you want them to know, jot a quick note, and have them, and they can get that information for you. I think this is the last thing I'm going to show you today. This is specific to air travel mainly. It's cool to have anyway, but this is a bag that is a personal item bag. So what I do is I carry my purse and I carry this, and then before I get on the plane, I stick my purse in here, and then this becomes my personal item. And the reason I like this is because it's almost like an extra piece of luggage. So you can put your clothes and stuff here. You can pack clothing, snap it up. You got your clothes here. You can put, anything that, any of your toiletries that you can here. It has a little spot, that battery I told you to carry. You can put your little battery in here and have a cord come right out here. So if you happen to need to charge your phone while you're traveling, you can have the cord right here hanging that you can just go ahead and plug it in to charge it. It has just a lot of handy packets. You can put your tablet in here. I like to take my Kindle so I can read. I like to be able to read while I'm laying on the deck sometimes. You can have a laptop in here. There is room, whole laptop section, and all of your electronics so that you can keep those with you. And when you get on the ship, if you don't check your bag, if you decide to carry it with you, if your cabin is not ready yet, and you don't have either like a high level, like a platinum level or faster than fun or something, you're going to have to keep your bags with you. If you're a high, at least on Carnival ships, if you're a higher level or you bought faster the fun, they will let you drop your stuff off in your cabin, even though it's not ready for you yet. You go, you drop it off, and then you leave. So you can do that, but if you're not one of those, groups and you didn't pay the extra, or you're not a platinum, I think it's platinum or higher level, then you have to hold the stuff with you. So you will often see until the rooms are ready, the cabins are ready, and they'll give you a time when the cabins will be ready. You'll see people sitting, desperately trying to find a spot on the Lido deck or someplace in one of the restaurants, and sitting with all of their bags with them. And this is much more convenient to carry this, to check everything and carry just like this backpack type bag with you, than it is to carry significant amounts of luggage. And you can have like a swimsuit in there stuff, so you're already ready to hop in the pool. So I love this bag. I love that it slides right under the seat. It counts as a personal item on the flight and is still useful on the ship as well. So this is one of my favorite cruise things. And that is all I have for you today. I mean, you might want to take snacks with you. You might want to take an e-reader. You probably know how to dress yourself. I'm sure you know how to dress yourself, right? But those are some things that I think are pretty specific and they're worth a discussion. So I figured I would share that with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. You have a fabulous day. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of new uploads. And while you're here, check out some of our other videos.